Well, we are here today in the kitchen of Mr. Ben Kay, who, as we speak, is chopping onions and wearing oh, okay.
Thought you worked in a kitchen for a while.
He's cooking posh onions and he's wearing a pinny. Now, of course, Ben Kay, very, very successful former rugby player, retired last year, World Cup winner, MBE, 5 league titles, 2 Heineken Cups. Oh, who's counting? And also one of only 2 lock forwards ever to have played in 2 World Cup finals, the other being the great John Eel. So all in all, not too shabby a career. Now, I've known this chap for too long, frankly, and I had him down for quite a few things after playing rugby, but not, I have to say, becoming a chef and getting a book published out right now, which we're going to talk about in a second. But here he is. Oh, right, there we go. There's the book. Ben, please explain why I'm even here, frankly.
Well, it's my testimonial year, coming to the end of it, and I finished playing, and people said, well, you should do an autobiography or something like that, and I just thought, frankly, my life's not that interesting. So quite fancied the idea of a book to celebrate the end of the career, and you know, I thought, try and get a few of my old mates involved in it and old players that I've played with. I thought the only way of doing that with rugby players is to pander to that basic need of their stomachs and what goes in it. So I came up with the idea of doing a cookery book. So we got 22 Michelin-starred chefs together, 22 top players: Martin Johnson, Lawrence, Johnny Wilkinson, Lewis Moody, Tom Croft, lots of the top players that I've played with, and the 22 great chefs taught them how to cook, or in Lewis Moody's case, wash his hands.
Very good. Now, are you doing this today for show, or are you actually now a lover of cooking?
I've always really enjoyed cooking. I actually probably get less time to do it now. I've retired and have a proper job, and you know, I'm away so much, but I do really enjoy cooking. I wouldn't say I'm particularly good, but one of the great things about doing this, I went and spent time with both Alan Roux and Mark Jordan in Jersey, and they passed on a bit of their knowledge, and you know, it's great to get out and learn. And I think, you know, I've done a few of these recipes now that some of the other guys have done with their chefs, and they've turned out really well. So I think, you know, if you do follow the recipes that are in this here book, they're you know, they do turn out really well. Now
that's why you're wearing the Atlantic apron, of course, because you worked there with Mark Jordan, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. We got to go out to Jersey in the summer, and a fantastic stay there. But yeah, definitely the highlight was going into the kitchen and seeing how it all works.
Who are your sort of chef heroes, if you like? Obviously, you got 22 in your book, but I don't know, maybe as a rugby player, John Eels, we've mentioned already, he'd be someone you would like to emulate, and indeed you have. Is that sort of like a...
Is he a chef?
Well, he might be, but he was a decent lock forward, which apparently you used to be as well. But is there any sort of, you know, chef you really aspire to? If you walked into your house now, you'd be a fan?
I mean, I do watch a lot of the TV programmes, but actually getting to meet Alan Roux was sensational. You know, he just makes everything look so easy, and you know, his kitchen seems like a happy place to work as well. You've experienced some kitchens, and they can be quite tense, but all his guys seem genuinely like they wanted to be there, and perhaps it was just a show for me, but he was special. The food he cooked was absolutely phenomenal. That's what I'm making now. I'm making one of his dishes, which is pave de salmon sauvage.
And what's that in French?
Fillet of salmon, really.
Fillet of salmon. And you've learned a bit yourself then from hanging around with people like, as you say, Alan Roux, Mark Jordan. What have you learned about not just this trade, but perhaps life?
I think probably that, you know, you should spend a bit of time concentrating on your cooking. Everyone's got busy lives, but it's actually good fun, and you know, eating something that you've made and tastes fantastic is you know, it gives you a big boost, and it's a really relaxing thing to do. you know, I'm all over the place at the moment. I'm down to London most days and on the train. So if I can take a bit of time just to chill out and cook something nice and get the benefit of eating it, then it's a nice way to calm down from a high pressure job.
We better just explain that high pressure job and those trips to London. You have become a commentator stroke pundit for ESPN, and that's keeping you very busy. We're hearing you a lot now. You enjoying it?
Yeah, I am. I'm really enjoying that. I'm combining it with advertising agency that I work at, so it's, you know, juggling a lot of balls. It's still my testimonial. I do a bit of after dinner speaking and motivational speaking, so there's a lot going on, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I thought I'd missed the game when I finished, but I can safely say that I haven't, and that's probably down to ESPN and being at the games and still part of rugby, but also you know, not being sore on a Sunday morning and being able to walk on a Sunday morning, but there's an adrenaline buzz from live TV as well. Now,
rugby career, not too shabby. We've gone through the accolades, not enough time to mention them all, but 62 caps, 2 Lions, MBE, World Cup winner obviously, World Cup finalist as well. When you look back, because when you're playing you don't have time ever to sort of pat yourself on the back or whatever. When you look back, what's your verdicts on the sporting career of Ben Kay?
I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest. It's you know, I know how lucky I am, and the fact that I joined Leicester in '99 just as you know, that we were reaching our peak in terms of Europe, and the last 10 years at Leicester have been the most successful period in the club's history. So I know that being part of, I know I'm not the greatest player that's ever played, or you know if I'd been in another team I wouldn't have had the success. So very, very lucky, but also immensely proud of everything I've achieved.
Well, you're not too bad at play. You've done pretty well, haven't you, to be honest?
But it's just luck and opportunity. I mean, there'll be other players out there who are just as good as me who just didn't get the opportunity. And you know, I joined Leicester in '99 just as the World Cup was on, which meant Fritz van Heerden and Jono were away, and I got my chance to play in the team, and never looked back from there. Really.
10 months to go before another World Cup. Obviously, you played in the last 2 World Cup finals. Yeah. Things are looking up, are they not, for England? Looking at the bigger picture, Ben, rather than the immediate picture. Yeah. What do you reckon?
I think they're in pretty good shape, actually. I mean, they're in a lot better shape than England were going into 2007. I think one of the worst things that could have happened to English rugby was us coming second in the last World Cup, because suddenly all the problems that were evident before the World Cup and all the problems that were evident after, you know, during the first few weeks of the World Cup were swept under the carpet, and there were massive problems which needed addressing, and unfortunately because of that there was a fair bit of time after the World Cup where it wasn't acted on straight away. So you know, I think where we are now is in a lot better shape. I think it's probably a year or two off being great. I think we may be in the same situation that Wales were in 2003, a couple of years off you know, a really good side that compete at Grand Slam level, but you never know. Strange things happen. I mean, you just need to get a run of confidence, and certainly England's confidence seems to be getting better at the moment. And you know, if they do well in the Six Nations, who knows what might happen at the World Cup.
Well, you said strange things happen, and shortly a very strange thing is going to happen, which is you're going to be serving up some salmon. So we all look forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be good, and don't forget £25, cookingwithballs.co.uk. So this is, especially for you, fillet of salmon with a nice warm vinaigrette. Enjoy.